In the last video I talked about willow and how some of it was used in certain areas of the garden. In fact, I plant it all over as this ground is really wet. I live in the northwest of Ireland where the ground is wet and the rainfall is quite heavy. This is part of Belton Small Holding. It's a little area that I call the Fairy Dell. It's quite an ancient area. It has some quite ancient hawthorn trees in it, and they are known as fairy trees, especially where you get one just growing in the middle of a field. It's regarded as having a connection to the supernatural. So that's the reason why I call this little woodland down here the Fairy Dell. It is rather beautiful and rather special. Just above it, as I pan round, you get an idea now of where the polytunnel is. It's just over there. And here in front of me is another willow. This is Salix tortuosa. It's a lovely curly kind of a willow. It's used a lot by florists. During the winter time you get this beautiful twisted stem which looks good in flower arrangements. Now again, you can see lots of newly planted trees. Over the course of the 7.5 years that I have been working here at Belton, which was a project just started from rushy fields. I mean, there was nothing planted here. Everything's been worked on from scratch. I've planted about 700 trees. Now one of these days I'm actually going to go round, spend a day marking them and counting them. But it's not going to be any time soon as I'm really busy. So permaculture planting is very intense, and it's intense, well, for me anyway, for one major reason, and that is maximum production of food. Now it's not just food for me, it's food for the birds and the bees and all the small mammals that live within the natural environment. So I regard permaculture as being the very best kind of growing or gardening or farming that anybody can do, because it's so good for the earth. That's Shay, the rebel cat. Yet another stray found on the roadside who's become all too confident. So getting back now to the garden, here you can see lots of black currant and red currant, and this is hazel, hasn't yet come into leaf. I'm hoping for good harvests of hazelnuts. Bamboo planted around larch. Now you can see the amount of so-called weeds. I say so-called because, you know, the earth covers herself up with whatever there is. So it's not for me to define whether that's right or wrong. But if I don't want it in a particular place, what I do is I plant it out or I mulch it out. You can see from the way the bamboo is growing there that those weeds are being planted out. The bamboo is overtaking them. Other areas I mulch them out.